Hello and welcome back to Intrepid Social Entrepreneur. Today's episode is the secret is to take your customer's temperature so you can supersize sales in your social enterprise. Now, I'd like to just take a moment and think, have you got a favourite clothing brand? Is there a brand that you just love? It might be you like the colours they do, the styles they do, it might be a certain fit, it might be that you just know their shoes or their trousers just fit you perfectly. It might be a brand that you feel affiliated to because of what they stand for, and a lifestyle brand, for example. It might be an outdoor brand, a mountaineering brand, or water sports brand, something that connects you when you wear that brand with that type of lifestyle. Surfer brands, for example, are usually the coolest, sexiest version of that. There's lots of mountaineering brands out there. Some of the most famous ones are attached to a lifestyle. So just just take a moment to think about that. The story for you, I know certainly I am. I really like Fat Face in the UK. There's a shop called Fat Face, and there was one Christmas. Fat Face always do the best sales, the best Christmas sales. You can never get prices like that any other time of the year. And because it's an outdoor brand, there's a lot of them in the Lake District, and we were in the Lake District with my family in between Christmas and New Year. And there's a Fat Face in each of the villages, and over the 3 days, my sister and I went in all three Fat Faces in all three of the villages. And my dad was laughing, going, "You've already been in Fat Face, why do you need to go in again?" And he really didn't get it. Obviously he's not a raving fan, and we are, because we knew that in the shops there's likely to be different stuff, there might be different things left, there might be other bargains to be had, so it's just worth checking. And that's just the way it is. As a raving fan of that shop, I can't walk past without just having a look. I know whenever I go in there'll always be something that I'll like and I could buy. That's an example of a raving fan. And this is what today's episode's all about, is starting to think about taking our customers' temperature. So obviously we're not talking about taking their physical temperature here, but just starting to think about your marketing strategy in terms of where your customers at, in terms of how well that they know you. So rule of 7 then, the old marketing adage is that people need to see or hear your marketing message at least 7 times before they take action and buy from you. Now that's obviously quite a lot. And actually, in today's modern world, it's more like between 7 and 16 times before you register in their mind and they're ready to take action from you. And that's all about them going from the point of noticing you right through till trusting you to buying from you. So it's important that we start to think more than ever now about nurturing that relationship with our customer. So the traffic temperatures then. So cold traffic is people have never heard of you, that don't know who you are, don't know what your product is, don't care about you, to be honest. Okay. Warm traffic then, they know of you, they've got some kind of knowledge of you, they might have noticed you, you might have done something for them. We'll talk about that in a moment, in a second. And then hot traffic, people who love you, raving fans. And that's the point we want to get to. We want to be nurturing our customers through the journey of cold to warm to hot. And thinking about that very strategically, it's like how we talk to our cold traffic is very different to how we talk to our hot traffic. And it's just bearing that in mind, and not just a lot of people, a lot of businesses, particularly social enterprises, but businesses right across, think of marketing as how to get cold traffic. And then they just stop. Certainly I was guilty of that. It's like you put an advert out there, you're attracting cold traffic, and that's it, you've done your marketing, that's all you think you're doing, and that's it. One of my biggest regrets with our businesses is that we didn't start nurturing a community a lot earlier on. We didn't start thinking about this more strategically, of how we moved them from cold to warm to hot. And I've many days where I've been desperate with my head in my hands, where you've put adverts out, you've spent money on adverts, and it's just fallen flat. And it just seems a waste of money. So then you don't do it again, and you think, oh, well, that didn't work, that product doesn't work, nobody wants it. That's not true. I just didn't have the message right, and I didn't have the flow right in converting those people into raving fans. So cold traffic then. So these are people who don't know you. They could find you by chance, or you can position yourselves in front of them. And here's a few different examples of how businesses do advertise into cold traffic. So a physical shop then, or physical place, how are people going to get your attention? This is why shops put so much attention into the shop windows. This might be very basic and obvious, but the whole point of that window is to turn cold traffic into, warm traffic. They want to put things in there that sets the tone for that shop and entices the right kind of customer in there. Services, this is obviously a bit harder because you don't have a physical place, but this is why sign builders, roofers, decorators, if they're doing a job in a place, we'll put a sign out in the front garden, just to say this is us. We've got signs on the side of vans, you've got adverts in newspapers, publications, for example. These are all designed to get cold traffic's attention. So for example, a builder putting in some lovely new windows, you're looking for new windows, you drive past, you're like, oh, I like those, I wonder who put those in, and there you go, wham, the sign's there to tell you. So it's strategically letting cold traffic know who it is that's doing that. And then online then, so every advert that you see on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, Google, eBay and Amazon, they're all popping up to try and entice you as cold traffic into whatever it is that they've got to offer. So just take a moment to think about your marketing. Is there any of your marketing that you're doing that is aimed at cold traffic? Is all of your marketing aimed at cold traffic, or is none of it? How are you trying to attract people that have never heard from you before? Okay, so warm traffic then. So people might know of you and you might be looking for them. So you are warm traffic if for a physical location you might know of the shop, somebody might have recommended you might be a brand you're aware of that's open in your town that you've never been to, so you want to check it out. So you're warm traffic if you've got an awareness of a physical location and you're making the effort to go to that place. Services, your warm traffic, if you've had somebody recommended by a friend, you're more likely to use that person recommended by a friend. Software services, for example, if you've used it in another place and you thought, oh, this is good, again, recommendations by friends. Or you've had a trial of that and you like it and you think, yeah, this could make a difference, so now I'm ready to buy. I mean, how many different free trials do we have of things? That's an example of converting you from cold traffic to warm traffic, and they're really effective. And then online, you warm traffic if you're aware of a business, you've seen targeted adverts, you might have bought once or twice. If you've given somebody your email address, you've been converted to warm traffic from cold traffic. So how many things do you see online? Free PDFs, free reports, particularly in the business world, free how to do things, guides. If you've joined a Facebook group, that's warm traffic. A community's been built. And if you follow them on social media in any way, your warm traffic, you've taken a step towards liking that brand in some way. You've taken a step forward. So these are examples of when you've turned from cold to warm traffic as a customer. So let's flip that on your head then and think about as a business then. How are you marketing to warm traffic? How are you taking people from cold to warm? Any different ways that you are nurturing your warm traffic? And if not, how could you start doing that? Then hot traffic then. These are our raving fans like me and Fatface. Physical examples of hot traffic is anybody who subscribes to a subscription box, so wine or veg boxes, chocolate of the month, socks of the month example. If you buy all your clothes from that favourite brand, or food brands that you buy, sorry, typo there, but I should say buy over and over again. Those are examples of physical things where you've got raving fans, where people are loyal customers to you. Examples of services, if you're hot traffic, regular household services that you use. Think about your window cleaners, your boiler services, any TV subscriptions that you have, things that you buy again and again and again. It might be monthly regularly, or it might be whenever you need it, but something that you buy again and again and again to do with your household. And then online, hot traffic is software that we buy that your business can't do without, or Amazon Prime, or masterminds or memberships that you're part of, and those are examples of hot traffic as a customer. So again, start thinking in your business then with your marketing strategy, who have you got that's hot traffic, who buys from you and again. This is the ultimate goal. This is what we want, is for people to keep coming back to you again and again and again. So start thinking about that journey from how you take people from being cold to warm, start building that trust, get your first sale, and then how can you convert them into hot traffic? And we want to start being very strategic about that through our marketing strategies. So as I said earlier, I've certainly made mistakes again and again, not taking the time to build that community, pinging an advert out, looking for a sale, and getting the sale sometimes, not getting the sale sometimes, but either way, the business hasn't grown, it hasn't evolved, because we didn't have that progression and that continuity and ultimately sustainability, because we weren't moving people from cold to warm to hot. The only example I've had, and it works with hot traffic, is the only example I've had where this was brilliant and it worked when we didn't put any strategy into it. So one of the things we run in another business is Glencoe Open Water Swim. So this is a swim that's run every year for the last 5 years, and that was, I stuck an advert out and we got a lot of interest in the first year, and it was the only thing that has just worked just like that with very little effort with the marketing. But when I thought about it afterwards, when I tease it through, we can still apply this theory to it, because everybody who came to do that swim was either either or both, a raving fan of outdoor swimming. In the UK at the moment, the sport's just booming, it's growing every year. They're either a raving fan of outdoor swimming and just wanted to do every swim event that there was, or they're raving fans of Glencoe. If you don't know about Glencoe, it's famous internationally. It's a beautiful part of Scotland, incredible mountains, incredible water, and I think people were raving fans of either the sport or Glencoe. So we just hit that sweet spot in terms of, we didn't actually need to nurture the community because the community was already there out there. So that's another thing that you can potentially tap into is, what are people raving fans of if they're not raving fans of you, in terms of what you can be providing. Okay. So I hope that's been helpful for you to start thinking about the types of customers that you want, that you've got. And so it's important for two reasons, because we want to position our marketing strategy so that we are taking people through the 3 levels. But it's also important because hot traffic is traffic that you own. You've got a direct communication with them. You've usually got their email address, and so you own that traffic. So it's super valuable to you. Cold traffic, you don't own it at all. You could be spending. This is the hardest customer to get, someone who's cold, and usually the most expensive customer to get. So it's given a little bit of thought of that. So you ideally want traffic that is warm, because you control that at least. For example, on social media groups, that's not your traffic because it's on social media. We need to start thinking about social media as building a community on rented land. So the problem with social media is it's brilliant. You can build big communities very easily, but Facebook or Instagram or whoever could change their algorithms overnight. They could start charging you for that group. They could just decide not to run groups. They could decide to take your page away. They could block you overnight, and this happens, So those communities are valuable, but they are on rented land. So you still want to think about how you can move people from warm traffic to hot traffic where you're making sales. So the goal is to own as much traffic as possible.